Welcome along,
That is
weekend
unbelievable.
rounder. Oh my days.
Wow.
We're in for a great show today, guys. Well, what about the North London derby?
I'm not getting rattled.
And we're 3 points off top 4, so it's not looking too bad.
Yeah.
Foden
I'd
88,
say
Saka
that's about
87.
right.
I think that's wrong.
Nicely you put your top on. You want to take it off and get the branding out? Happy birthday!
Make a wish to win the league.
I did.
How much chance will Arsenal have of winning the Champions League?
0, mate.
If we got through
Can't do
PSV, do you think there's any chance of winning?
No.
Hang on, let me finish.
Predictions:
2-1 Tottenham.
3-1 Liverpool.
2-0 Wolves.
Chelsea to beat Man United at Old Trafford.
Still there.
You're in trouble if we win this game.
You better not lose on Saturday.
We beat the world champions this weekend. That makes you world champions.
We're the world champions, but you're not in a title.
This is why you'll never win the league.
6 million down the drain.
Robbie celebrating a 1-0 win. Abby Pilates instead of trophies. You never walk alone.
Catch us every Monday for the weekend roundup.
Yes, everybody, welcome back to DR Sports. Welcome back to Live at 5. It's Friday afternoon. Your work may be done for the week. I hope you guys have had a fantastic Friday, and it's time to get into Premier League action now. For those of you who like FPL, I want to give you a quick warning because there is an 8 p.m. kickoff tonight. So at 6:30 is when the deadline closes. I've made sure that I've not got caught out on that, but make sure that you don't get caught out on that as well. But here with me today on Friday in the studio to go through all the games and the injuries that have been happening the last couple of days, it's Laurie once again.
Hey, how you doing? Thank God it's Friday.
I know. Today, you know what? This week, I've been thinking I've been a day ahead the entire day. So on Monday, I thought it was Tuesday. On Tuesday, I thought genuinely. Like yesterday, obviously, I've got multiple things that I film. And I just forgot about it completely. And then so I kind of at 11 in the morning, I was like, oh, I forgot I didn't do it yesterday. And I had to run to the studio and all this. But I feel like it's finally Friday.
Yeah.
And, football's finally back. And I can almost reset myself ahead of the weekend.
Although for me, because we had the game in midweek, then obviously, it's great to have the weekend back.
Yeah, it's always, I love that. I love when the weekend comes around. It's a lovely thing. But my name is Dylan. I'm your host today, as always, live at 5 p.m. on DR Sports. And obviously, as I said, we're going to get into all the games. But the first thing that we're going to talk about, especially, with you, Laurie, as an Arsenal fan on the panel, is that Mikel Arteta today has confirmed that Big Gabby, as Mikel Arteta says, Big Gabby suffered an injury in the recent game against Atletico Madrid. That's why he was substituted. And he may not be fit to face to face Crystal Palace this weekend. So what Arteta said, for those of you who may have missed it, is obviously Big Gabby had to leave the pitch with an issue, and he hasn't been able to train yet. He said this morning. So let's see how that evolves in the next 24 hours, whether he is available or not for the weekend. Now, sometimes you'd think, we've well established that Arsenal is probably the most well-rounded team in the league, right? You've got backups left, right and centre. But this is a very key game, I think, for Gabriel to miss if he does. Because it's not any striker. It's Jean-Philippe Mateta. It's the guy who's just scored a hat-trick against a very, very good and well-organised Bournemouth defensive line. And Gabriel, I think this is potentially, if he is missing, in terms of the game that it is, it's a big miss.
If he is indeed missing on Sunday, it will be a big miss. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the manager's actually confirmed that he won't play.
No, but he's saying that
he's not trained, which is not a good sign.
And they're going to see tomorrow if he's fit to be able to play.
That kind of suggests that he might not play. You're right, it would be
it's
a big
not a
blow.
good thing for your manager to say, basically, put it that way.
It's not. Especially somebody who tends to keep things quite close to his chest, as Arteta does. So reading into that, as you will, you would maybe feel that, it certainly is a big doubt as we're sitting here now talking about it. However, the good news on that front is that we have an able replacement in Mosquera. And he's done very well. Every time he's been called upon to play for Arsenal this season, he's done so with aplomb. And on that, I don't have too many concerns. That being said, though, Mateta, as you referenced, he will be a threat to Arsenal. He is possibly, along with Sarr, Palace's most potent threats. He did get a hat-trick last week, could have been more than that. And I'm reliably informed that even yesterday, when they lost, surprisingly, to the AEK Larnaca.
Yep.
They lost at home in the European game, which was a surprising loss. I was told that Mateta was quite profligate, from what I understand. So, interesting.
Yeah, Crystal Palace, ever since, obviously, they had the 18 or 19 game unbeaten run, which ended with, the last 3 wins. They beat West Ham away from home, beat Liverpool at home, 96th minute, beat Dynamo Kiev away from home. And then since then, it's been 2 losses and a draw. They lost 2-1 to Everton in the last couple minutes with Jack Grealish. Then 3-3 Crystal Palace versus Bournemouth. Obviously, Mateta hat-trick. But Bournemouth came back and they were able to grab a point in that game. And then they lost yesterday in the Europa League.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit of a topsy-turvy time for Crystal Palace at the moment, hasn't it? It's gone from 19 games unbeaten, suddenly, no one can get past them, to conceding 6 goals in 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, I was particularly surprised at their loss at home, because normally Palace at home as well, they're quite formidable at home. What with the good support they get, and they were playing against a team, no disrespect, that they were expected to win. So to lose at home without scoring, a bit of a surprise. But we can't allow that to deflect from what we got to do. This will be a difficult game. I mean, the corresponding game between us and Palace last season ended in a 2-2 draw. I was at that game, and Mateta actually scored in that game as well. I think he got the equaliser. It's interesting because Eze scored for Palace as well, who will be playing for Arsenal against Palace. So, yeah, we definitely recognise the threat of Mateta. But as I said before, we got Saliba and I would imagine Mosquera, because I think Nkapé is just coming back from injury, which I don't think he'll be risked in such a high-profile game so soon. So, yeah, that will be an interesting battle between Mosquera and Saliba and Mateta.
Mateta's one of those players who this season his XG is actually 3. I don't know if you guys like XG or don't like XG. It's a very hard stat to be able to put into context. But Mateta's generally been a very clinical finisher over the last 18 months. And then recently he's actually been underperforming his XG. And against Bournemouth, he scored a hat-trick and still underperformed it.
Yeah,
like he was like 3.48, I think, and he's obviously scored 3 goals. So it sounds like what it sounds like. It looks like a strike at the moment. Crystal Palace, they're creating chances, but then their XG is quite high at the moment, but their goal scoring rate's quite low. Obviously, Mateta will be playing a big part in that, and he's not finishing the chances that he needs to. So I think, especially if Gabriel doesn't play for Arsenal, there's a chance here for Crystal Palace. I know it's at the Emirates, so makes it 10 times harder. Arsenal have been a pretty brick wall against the Emirates. Sorry, at the Emirates for the most part this season. Ronnie Dodge does say, though, big up for the super chat, Ronnie. He says, I think Palace will get something out of this game. How big of a swing is the Gabriel miss? Or is it actually just not that big of a miss because Mosquera has been good when he's been called upon?
That's a good question. It is definitely a miss, though. I mean, without a doubt, Gabriel is one of our go-to players. Not just in defence, by the way, going forward as well.
He got a goal and assist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he scores goals. He gets crucial goals, as we saw against Newcastle. He scored in the week against Atletico. He's a very important player for what Arsenal do, both, like I said, at the back and up top as well. So he will be a big miss. But as I said, though, Mosquera has played a few games for Arsenal this season and he's never let us down. You could argue that he was possibly partially culpable for the goal against Newcastle that we gave away, which he gave away a needless corner, which appeared to be at the time a needless corner. Newcastle got the corner and then Watermaad scored. Gabriel, remember, he went down from a pretty innocuous touch.
That was poor from Gabriel.
Yeah, that was poor from him. He then proceeded to nearly get sent off when he had a little bit of a little run-in with Watermaad on the way back to the spot after the goal. But then Gabby, as we love, he popped up and got the winner for Arsenal in that same game. So, yeah, he's definitely a big miss. But like I said, I've got confidence in Watermaad. What I would say as well about Mateta, he's a real handful. I mean, I've witnessed this guy play a couple of times. I've actually seen him in the flesh. I've seen what he does. He's big, he's strong, he's quick, he's physical. And he's underrated in terms of his footballing ability. People just think he's just a big, rugged, tough centre forward, but he offers more than that. And he is a goal threat as well. Although I would say he's not the most prolific in front of goal. I think that's fair to say. However, though, he is a threat and he will need to be watched closely. Yeah. You know what I mean? And let's not forget Ismaila Sarr as well, who's also done well in the past against Arsenal. Yeah. So, yeah, it should be a good game, but I'm confident.
Obviously, the game's 2:00 kickoff on Sunday. What are your score predictions?
I've gone,
chat as well, get them in as well.
Right, so initially when I made my prediction, I wasn't aware of the gravity of Gabriel's injury. So, yeah, let's say Gabriel's not playing, because I think that's probably what's going to happen. So, would I change my prediction of 2-0? I'd have to say no, I wouldn't. I'm still going with 2-0. I think the way Arsenal are playing at the moment, the confidence, the aura, the fact that we're at home, the crowd will be massively up for it. They will see it as another 3 points on the way to, you know what I mean, confirming ourselves as title favourites, and I don't think we'll slip up.
Yeah,
2-0.
I think Palace are netting. I think they're scoring. Like,
Yeah.
I think they're due. They're one of those teams that they're due a goal. I know, obviously, going away against Arsenal isn't the easiest place to score a goal at all, with Arsenal having one of the best defences in the league, if not the world. But I think...
Well, they did get 3
2-1.
against Bournemouth last week.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I think Crystal Palace, they have attacking prowess, and they play better when they have less possession. Like, you look at Glasnow's win rate with plus 50% possession and less than 50% possession. It's a massive, massive difference. And obviously, they will have less than 50% possession when they come to the Emirates when they go to the Emirates on Sunday. So I reckon 2-1 though. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
Arsenal, your attack's on fire at the minute. Me and Kenya were speaking about this on Wednesday. We're talking about Arsenal's attack and how it's potentially becoming a little underrated at the moment because so much is made of the defence. 4-0 against Atletico Madrid. I reckon it'll be 2-1. But you're not the only team to have a centre-back out. You've got Manchester
Well, if
City.
it is
You've got
2-1, I'll take
injuries.
that.
Yeah, I mean, 3 points is 3 points against
Exactly,
a team
yeah.
that did go 19 unbeaten at one point. It's a big 3 points for Arsenal to get. Obviously, if you do. But Man City also have a few injuries coming their way at the moment. Kusanov, who's been fantastic for them this season, not quite back yet. You got Rodri, who's also got his own injury problems at the moment. Rodri's been he won the Ballon d'Or, and he was amazing, and then he got his ACL injury, and he's been very in and out and in and out and in and out. But credit to City, they've managed to, since the international break in September was finished, they've not lost a game. They're 9 unbeaten now, Man City. So just Man City's injury news is Ait Nouri is out, Kusanov is out, and also Rodri is out. But so far, I mean, Pep Guardiola, from considering the start of the season, there was a bit of a wobble for Man City, and last season Man City were nowhere near their peak. But they've got Erling Haaland firing again. Like, their recent results,
say,
they've
the
got
others may
it's
be out,
3-0
but Haaland's in.
like they're 9 unbeaten. It's 3-0 Man United against Man United, 2-0 against Napoli, draw against Arsenal, then beat Huddersfield, beat Burnley 5-1, drew 2-2 to Monaco in the last minute, then beat Brentford away, beat Everton at home, beat Villarreal away, and now they're going away to Aston Villa, who themselves are in quite good form. You had them beat Spurs, obviously, so they lost their first 5 games of the season, Villa, 5-6 games of the season, and now suddenly they won 3 on the bounce, and they've now beaten Spurs away from home. So it's gonna be.
They did,
I think
although
they have
slip
lost.
up. Yeah,
I know
go
they
ahead
lost.
Eagles.
They lost. Who was it? Go Ahead Eagles. That was. Yeah, that wasn't a great win. But in terms of the Premier League, they have been doing better than they were.
Yeah, they've definitely had a
But
resurgence.
The Erling Haaland machine. He's scored 12 games in a row for club and country.
Exactly.
And he's got 18 goals in his last 14 games. It's utterly mental, the form that he's on at the minute, Erling Haaland. And it feels like no matter if City have injuries or don't have injuries, or they got some key players missing, or like let's say some of their players as well aren't hitting expectations, such as like Reinders hasn't been fantastic since his opening couple games. There's been a bit of up and down from him, but he's playing further forward at the moment than he normally is. Cherky's not been necessarily at the business, but he's had injuries in and out the team. But just Erling Haaland has been amazing, hasn't he?
100%. Am I right in thinking that game is at the same time as Arsenal's on Sunday? It's 2 o'clock.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
interesting.
There's 4 2 o'clock games actually. We'll get to the rest of them, but yes, Aston Villa, Man City, same time as Arsenal.
Yeah. I mean, Aston Villa at home, so that evens it up a little bit. But I would have to say, on current form and the way Haaland is playing at the moment, I wouldn't bet against him.
I've got him captain FPL. I've just kind of kept him as my
he's
fantasy league
absolutely
captain.
on fire this season. And with the momentum of Haaland, I think City nick it. I think...
They only nick it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I would... Villa at home, and they're always normally quite good at home. It's a big game. You expect them to turn up. They lost, surprisingly, to Go Ahead Eagles, so there will be a little bit of what I call the backlash factor. But I just think City at the moment, man, they're kind of riding that little wave. They're going under the radar ever so slightly.
6 of these 9 unbeaten games, they've kept clean sheets.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, you can't bet against City, to be honest.
Yeah, I think City are managing the fact that they have a couple of key players out very, very well. I think Pep's doing an underrated job. Like, you talk about you look at the Premier League table, right? Everyone's talking about, the beginning of the season, it was it's United versus Liverpool, it's United versus Liverpool, and Arsenal versus Liverpool. Sorry, we're in the
little presumptuous. We're
in the race for 10th. We're on our own little race. But it was Arsenal versus Liverpool, and then Man City. It's now looking a little more like it's clearly a 3-horse race at the minute. Arsenal, I think, bookies' favourites. You've been the best team so far this season. I know Christian's getting a bit of heat for saying Arsenal are the best team in the world. I understand.
Slight correction. He said best team in the world right now, and a lot of people are running with a separate narrative. So let's be fair to Christian.
Would you not say that if you?
I was in the room when he made that comment, by the way.
Right now,
sorry.
Is it not a given that he's talking right now?
No, but I think it's important to contextualise it by adding those words right now, because people immediately came back at him. And I must admit, when he said those comments, we're doing a watch along for AFTV. I challenged him straight away. I said, well, you reckon they're the best team in the world? But then to be fair to Christian, he said, right now, name me a better team in the world. Look at our defensive record. Look what we're doing. We've just smoked Atletico Madrid 4-0 and goes, that is, totally impressive. So when he framed it like that, I thought, you know what? It's up for debate. I'm not saying that they are. But it's certainly worthy of a debate.
I said this on yesterday's show, live at 5. Yesterday, with Jack and Alex, and I said it was Bayern Munich. We all agreed it was. We said Bayern Munich currently, in terms of looking at their team, looking who they have, their front line is better than Arsenal's. I think that's indisputable that Harry Kane, Elise, and Luis Diaz is better than Arsenal's front line.
Right.
And Arsenal might have a better defence, but I reckon Bayern Munich, I think, best team in the world.
The best defence in the world. The stats bear that out.
I would agree. I think that Arsenal have the best defence in the world, but I don't think they have the best team in the world. I think Bayern eclipses them. But again,
then you could also argue. I mean, I don't know if you will. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Belabor the point. But then a lot of people would say that Arsenal are operating in a league that is superior to the one that Bayern are operating.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So you have to give some credence to that.
But what Christian said, which isn't being talked about as much in this, and it's in the clip that he said it means absolutely niche unless Arsenal win something.
Yeah, well,
you can be
that goes without saying.
The world right now, if you end up trophyless, you come second, don't win anything, then at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that you're the best team in the world because you've not won something, which is the end goal of football. It's to win games, win leagues, win titles.
I guess my point is what he said is not wildly inaccurate when you actually hone in on what he said.
There's more debate to it than what everyone thought.
Because the fact that you were debating it and you came up with Bayern suggests that you think it's worthy of a conversation.
Yeah.
So credit to Christian for.
He held his own. I've seen him in the DR Sport comment sections as well on Instagram. He's fighting.
He's enjoying it.
He's fighting his good fight, very much so.
Yeah.
But Man City versus Aston Villa. I can't see anything other than a Man City win here. I'm talking a 3-0 win.
3-0. Wow.
Yeah. I'm looking at Erling Haaland and I can't see you scoring less than 2. I can't see him scoring fewer than 2 goals in any given game at the minute. Yeah. I know he's not been scoring 2 goals every game, but
he's on fire at the moment. And he did give warnings of this. I don't know if you saw in the pre-season, he put a couple of videos out on his channel and he was featuring him training and he was sprinting up hills. Very impressive as well. And I remember thinking, wow, this man, he means business. And we're seeing it right now. But yeah, to go to the prediction, I'm going to go City, but I think it might be a little closer than what you're suggesting. I'm going 2-1 to City. I think Villa will make a game of it.
Damn.
2-1.
But a little announcement for you DR Sports fans is we've got another show coming up. We have a new Spanish show alert, people. El Clasico is coming up on Sunday. Barcelona versus Real Madrid at 3:15 p.m. UK time this weekend. El Rival with Raul and Nico is coming out now.
I'm Nico, but you can call me El Jefe. Kings of Spain.
You know then why that?
Champions of La Liga
last year. What are you talking about, Nico? It's Olympiacos. Olympiacos. Nico.
I've never seen Raul so scared in my life.
Everything about La Liga and Champions League.
This is my year. Lamine Yamal, Kylian Mbappé. Vamos!
Right, so if you guys, obviously, if you like Spanish football, you just love football content, go and check that out. I'm sure it's an absolutely fantastic show. It's, it's great fun. But the third team, obviously, we're talking about who's in this title race. It's Arsenal, it's Liverpool, and it's United. The third team, who we've got to focus on in this is Liverpool away against Brentford. Now, Arne Slot is being very Arne Slot at the moment. Once again, he had a press conference, and once again, he was complaining about long balls. So Arne Slot, it's getting a bit jarring for me, like because he keeps talking about long balls, all this, all of that, but he's also talking specifically about the Man United game. Still, I'm looking at it going, mate, it was 6 days ago. Let it go, okay? No one's saying that United are better than you or anything. We won that game because we outplayed you, and also got lucky with Gakpo hitting the post and things. But Arne Slot, what he said today in his press conference was, the main difference between this season and last season is the playing styles we've faced. I look at how many long balls we've already had to defend. 178 in 7 games, and in the United game, we had to defend 59 long balls. To me, it feels like he's still not getting it. He's still not understanding. Specifically the United game, does he not understand that we weren't contesting these long balls? The whole point was to hit it long and let you have it, then win the second ball. So if he's going, my defenders have to do 3 headers. Like Van Dijk's obviously going to overpower Cunha 99 out of 100 times, right? He's going to outpower Mbumo and Mount. These guys are easily out-jumpable. If you're 6'5", Virgil van Dijk, or you're Konate, it feels like Slot is becoming so focused on this idea that they're not playing, like teams aren't playing the way that he wants them to play against them. Like, oh yeah, of course not. Of course, Arne Slot, you're not going to get people going, Frankfurt, they played ground possession-based football, or like didn't play in the air against Liverpool and conceded 5. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do the same thing. Like, Slot should be looking at Brentford and going, they're managed by someone who until this season was a set-piece coach. What are they going to do? They're going to do the long balls. They're going to do... But Brentford beat us 3-1 by doing the exact same thing literally a few weeks ago. It was just long balls, long throws into the box, whacking it over the channels, over De Ligt, over Harry Maguire. That's how they scored their goals. So I really feel like Slot, he talks about these long balls and he complains about these long balls and says, we keep facing them. I look at it and think, well, do something about it then, surely.
You know what, Arne Slot, my heart bleeds for you. He really does. Imagine coming up against a team that doesn't make it easy for you to play against. What an absolute load of nonsense. And I've got to say, I'm a bit disappointed in Arne Slot because I thought last season he was a breath of fresh air.
I agree.
He came in, didn't know too much about him, conducted himself with a lot of class, self-effacing, seemingly humble, did a great job. Now, this season, they've lost a couple of games after having, let's face it, a really good start, even though they weren't playing the best. To hear him moaning like this constantly, referring to long balls and this, get on with it, bro. Like,
he needs
it is
to
what
stop.
it is. Yeah,
he
just like, come on now, stop, please. Because what that indicates to me is that he's having difficulty dealing with the pressure of a team that is underperforming, which they clearly are. So, at the end of the day, a couple of goals they got the other day against Frankfurt, they were headed goals from set pieces. You know what I mean? So should that not count? I mean, come on now. And like you said, Dylan, they're playing against a team tomorrow who are going to be like that on steroids.
They're going to get the ball and they're just going to whack it forward.
So
it's all they're going to do for 90 minutes. And the more Slot complains about it, the more he's going to face
exactly.
it.
And the more you complain about it, the more you show your vulnerability, the fact that you don't like it. Other managers and coaches, I think, it's a clear path to playing against Liverpool. They clearly don't like this type of football. Let's put it on them.
All that Slot needs to do is such an easy, one-sentence answer that he can cut all of this and get rid of all this talk at the moment. Obviously, we're talking about it. Mainstream media's talking about it. Liverpool fans are talking. Everyone's talking about it. I'm sure they're talking about it in the dressing room as well.
Of course.
Like, talking about all this long ball stuff. It's just we've been weak on long ball so far this season. We're going to work to fix that on the training ground. All you need to just say that, and then just deflect if you go, more about long balls, you just go, we'll work on it.
How about
you're a head coach,
play your
a
game,
manager,
right? And you get the opposition to worry about you. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you've got the players. Like you've got
£200 million worth of strikers
exactly.
on the
You've
pitch.
got the players in order to go there and dominate that game and play your game and beat them. So if I was Liverpool, I'd be focusing a lot on what we do. They're clearly underperforming. You've got guys in the team like Wirtz, although he's got a little bit better in recent games. Salah, Isak, all of those big guns are underperforming. I think you need to worry about getting a tune out of those guys rather than talking about, or, making the subject of conversation about long balls and low blocks and so on. It's such inverted snobbery that it really winds me up, actually.
I find it odd that he's found it so shocking that teams adapt.
Yeah.
Especially to a team that's won the league. Like last season, maybe teams adapted to Liverpool, but it was harder to notice because Mo Salah would just score every game. He would get 2 goals or he'd get an assist or something, or Van Dijk would score a winning goal or something. And it was like, it's hard to adapt to a player that's scoring, like getting 42 goal involvements in 30 games or whatever his ridiculous statistics were. But once that drops off, it then becomes a lot more noticeable for everyone, for Slot, for the players, that teams are adapting. So let's say Mo Salah's, got more goals this season. Let's say not necessarily like 15 goals like Haaland's got. Let's say Salah's on 7 or 8 goals at this point, right? In 7 or 8 games. It's a different game. It's a different scenario completely because it doesn't matter what you do against Liverpool, Salah's going to score. Now, they're losing their goals, meaning that it's becoming a lot more obvious what teams are doing against Liverpool. And there's becoming such a bona fide blueprint to beat them. Like Amorim showed it to perfection. It was, don't challenge their centre-backs because they're strong. Win the second balls in midfield because their players they don't seem fit enough to be able to win those second balls. And then just whack it forward.
Why not?
Make Liverpool drop with all these long balls, and you'll get chances. Like you got Thiago, for example. Igor Thiago for Brentford. He's on 5 goals already this season. He scored against United, which was literally a long ball. West Ham, he should have scored twice against West Ham. There was that offside, which maybe wasn't an offside. Obviously, they won the game anyway. But Thiago's been good. They've got Sharda, another a quick player with a half-decent strike on him, playing 3 at the back. And then they've got, at the base of midfield, they've got Jordan Henderson, who Liverpool, more than anyone,
should know.
that they know how to... Jordan Henderson knows how to ping a ball. He knows how to put a cross in. He knows how to, take a corner, put a free kick in, and make these high aerial duel chances. So Brentford are set up very well, also being at home, to nick another couple points off Liverpool, potentially.
And listen, despite all of what we've just said there, everything you said, I agree with, I concur with. However, it's also fair to say, because I watched the Man United game, I watched other games they've had recently, that Liverpool have created chances in all of those games to have won those games. Even the game they played against you, they were misfiring for large spells. They conceded the early goal, but they clawed it back. And when they clawed it back, I honestly thought they were going to go on and win the game. They had chances to win even after that late equaliser, but they didn't take them. So that is not down to Man United playing long ball, using long throws and whatever. It was still in their hands to win, and they didn't win. So I think he would be better served by focusing on his own team's inadequacies. Because let's face it, Liverpool would have come up against this type of football before, and they prevailed. So you need to ask questions as to why we're conceding goals from set pieces and stuff like that. Why are we so vulnerable with long balls and stuff like that? You need to work on that, and then the rest will take care of itself. But to be moaning all the time and stuff like that, I just think, come on.
I think it
doesn't serve him well.
You've put that perfectly. It's Arne Slot. Just focus on your own team. Yeah. Focus on what you're doing. Don't focus on anyone else. Like I'm sure, like Arsenal, Arteta will be telling you, we're not looking at Man City too much. We're not looking at you. We're looking at ourselves. We're looking at who's we playing this weekend. Crystal Palace. Okay, how do we beat them? Cool. We're going to beat them like this. Or how do we make sure the Mateta's not, fully fit and firing? How do we stop Sarr and co? Like how do we make sure we nullify Adam Wharton?
That's what you do. I mean, in preparing for a game, I would imagine, this is just common sense. You would analyse the team you're playing. You would identify both their strengths and their weaknesses. And then you would look at the strengths and say, right, how do we counteract this? And then you put a plan for dealing with it. And they've got enough time to deal with that. Yeah. So, like I said, disappointing for Slot because, like I said, last season he was a breath of fresh air. Listen, I've got no hesitation saying he is a very good manager. What I think has been going on the last couple of days, because listen, he wasn't moaning about that earlier in the season when they were getting results against the run of play, when they played Newcastle and 1 or 2 other teams, getting second winners, including against us. He wasn't moaning about the style of football then. What we're seeing is a manager that is feeling the pressure. He's feeling the pinch. He spent a hell of a lot of money. Last season, he won the title with Klopp's team. He spent a hell of a lot of money this season. Some of those marquee signings are not producing the levels expected of them. They're losing games. It was 4 on the trot, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah.
and he's under pressure, and he's showing it. So
yeah, and for looking at the Brentford game, it's an 8 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. So and it's getting dark now quite quickly. We're in that time of year.
Well, the clocks go back this weekend, don't they?
Clocks go back on.
Not Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, it might be Saturday or might be Sunday.
So it's going to get even dark.
It's either Saturday or Sunday. So it's going to be dark under the lights at the G-Tech Stadium, which will be massively in Brentford's favour. And in terms of injury news, Frimpong is, according to Slot today, not in a good place. Obviously, his hamstring got injured. He got injured hamstring away against Brentford. And then with Isak, he said Alex Isak is not too bad. Question mark for the weekend. Same to be said about Ryan Gravenberch. Alisson not in the squad, going to take a bit longer. So Liverpool do have their potential injury problems as well. But aside from that, so it feels likely, Ekitike scored, lovely goal, really well taken goal in midweek. Feels like Ekitike will probably start over Isak, especially if Isak's a question mark. But the question I have for you is, what about Mo Salah?
Good question. I mean, listen, Mo Salah is a legend. I mean,
and also chat. Let me know if you're a Liverpool fan or not a Liverpool fan. Let us know if you think Salah should start or not, and let me know why as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Premier League legend. His quality is unmistakable. But, let's also be fair. He's not had a good start to the season. He is getting a bit older, so questions will inevitably be asked, is he fading as a physical force? That being said, though, if I had anything to do with Liverpool, he would be playing this weekend, and you'll probably see an improved performance from him, maybe even a goal. So he's simply too good to leave out at this stage. I mean,
you still think so? You think he should start?
I think he should
come
start.
back in the starting 11, even though without him they scored 5.
Yeah, I mean,
and Wirtz
form is temporary, class is permanent. I mean, it's one of them where he was left out. Some might say dropped, some would say rotated, some would say rested for the game against Eintracht Frankfurt. I would argue, though, that assignment, even though it was away from home, was probably slightly easier than, I don't like to use the word easy, actually, less challenging, shall we say, than Brentford is likely to be.
Yeah, so score predictions-wise, I'm going to go with 2-2.
Yeah, I was thinking something like that.
I'm thinking. Yeah. I'd say if I had to pick a team to win it, I'd pick Liverpool to win it.
Yeah.
But I can very much see this being 2-2.
Yeah.
Especially if Slot doesn't fix up and just get a grip. Basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, not only that, if you're a player, I'm not sure if I'd want my manager to be talking in a negative light like that. If I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm thinking,
blaming other people for everything.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, bro. We're Liverpool. Stick your chest out, go out there, put a performance.
Do you think maybe Slot might be doing it on purpose to deflect from his players? Because Jose Mourinho used to do that a lot.
Yeah,
he would if a game
but he was doing it from a position of strength, though.
But if a game didn't go well at United, Mourinho would sometimes say something ridiculous, or like Solskjaer did the same thing. He'd then just say something to make sure everyone's talking about him rather than player performances.
Yeah, I see that, but I'm more leaning towards what you're seeing is a reaction of somebody that's feeling the pressure. Like I said, he's not felt pressure like this since he arrived at Liverpool.
So are we agreeing on 2-2?
Yeah, we're going for the Desmond.
Yeah, we've got a few other games to cover as well. We've got, let's go with Chelsea versus Sunderland. Chelsea need to get back into form. They need to make sure they finish a game with 11 men as well. And Sunderland, I think, is potentially a perfect game for Chelsea to be able to come up against an opposition who, will give them a fight. Sunderland go down swinging for the most part. Reggie Lafie's been a very good manager for them in the Championship and both so far in the Premier League this season.
Did you call him Reggie? I thought his name was Regis.
Regis, sorry, yeah, Regis. Yeah, that's my bad. I can't keep up with the names in my head. Big Reg. But
I do like it.
I like him. Sunderland have been good this season, but I think this is a very, very good game for Chelsea to be able to try and... Obviously, they beat Forest 3-0, but they still came away with a red card, like Malo Gusto getting sent off needlessly. So it's a good game for Chelsea, I think, to try and prove that they're not constantly getting red cards, because there will be some rough challenges. Sunderland coming back to Stamford Bridge for the first time in 12 years in the Premier League, 12, 13 seasons. So it'll be a rough, but it's a kind of game that Chelsea keep their head, get your 1-0, 2-0 win, get it out the way, and prove that you can not get rattled and get red cards for once.
Yeah, I mean, I noted that you said an opportunity to get back to form, but including a very impressive 5-1.
You're right, yeah.
So I would make Chelsea heavy favourites for this game. I mean, don't get me wrong, Sunderland have done really well.
Chelsea are 5th in the league, 1 point behind Liverpool and Bournemouth, 2 points behind City.
Sunderland have done really well. They seem like they've got a really good manager. They've also got Granit Xhaka, who I'm a big admirer of. He was one of my favourite players when he was at Arsenal. Shout out to Granit Xhaka. That being said, though, I can't see past a Chelsea win in this game. I think Chelsea are far too strong overall, and I do think they'll win by a couple of goals.
Yeah, I reckon this game will be I'm going to go with a 2-0.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea will win.
2-0 or a 3-1.
I'm in desperate need of João Pedro to do something, please. So please just have a shot, score something for my FPL. I am, yeah.
Chelsea are one of those teams as well that if you catch them on a wrong day for you and a right day for them, it could be problems because they have got some very talented players, and if they get it together, there can be a problem.
Yeah. Chuddy Eden's got a message for us in the super chat. Big up for the super chat. He said, if you actually watched the video, he gave rival managers praise for the change in tactics, and he said we need to prove in long balls, no narratives. And then he follows that by saying everyone wants to find something to hate on. Now, I understand that, but what I'm more saying is that he doesn't need to he can deflect and just get the conversation away from it. Because I've seen this under Ruben Amorim, where the conversation is about the system, and then they keep asking questions about the system. It's been this for a year. System. Get a couple wins out the way. There's been no talk about Amorim's system for a while now. It's been lovely. The whole international break after we beat Sunderland, there wasn't much on it. We then come back, beat Liverpool with a slightly different system. But like, there's not talk about it. And I feel like it's one of those things that Slot needs to you can praise the managers, but he's still mentioning it. He's like being like, oh, we're facing loads of long balls. It's a big difference. It's like more, just deflect because it takes the pressure off that. But if Slot is doing it for a reason, if he's doing it to deflect off maybe some poor performances from Van Dijk, for example, or Konate not being at his absolute best, or Isak not scoring goals, or Salah, etc. If he's doing that, then it's good management. But to me, it feels like too often he's then talking about what other teams are doing and just focus on yourself. Like he was complaining when we didn't start Šeško. He was going, they started Šeško for the last 4 games. This is what he said. He was like, they started Šeško 4 games in a row. I'm surprised. I'm like, you got to compensate for this. That's just my take on Slot, is that deflect, stop speaking about it, and just win a few games, man. And everything will then go away from him.
There's been a preponderance on Slot to talk about other teams and to frame things in a way. It's almost like you're saying, well, I wasn't expecting him to do that, or why are they doing this? We didn't have to come up against this last season. To me, that's a kind of negative outlook. Focus, like you said, on your team and on your strengths, and be adaptable, basically.
There's a game tonight, 8 p.m. kickoff, Leeds United versus West Ham United. I can't lie, I keep forgetting Leeds are in the Premier League.
This rate, we'll be forgetting West Ham are in the Premier League.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. So this is a team. These are 2 teams that combined have 1 win in their last 5 each. Leeds' recent form is 2-0 loss to Burnley, 2-1 loss to Spurs, 2-2 draw to Bournemouth, 3-1 win against Wolves, who are even worse than these guys, and 1-0 loss against Fulham. Team form for West Ham is they lost to Spurs 3-0, lost to Palace 2-1, drew to Everton 1-1, lost to Arsenal, and then lost to Brentford. Like these are 2 teams that are in desperate need of some points. It's like poor defenses, poor attacking, midfield's not looking great. And like Nuno's immediately come into this job for West Ham, and he's under immediate massive pressure because he can't take. If he takes them down, he'll be back out of job again.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, West Ham, I saw the game they played the other day against Brentford, and they were well beaten.
They were
well
woeful.
beaten. They were poor. And yes, you're right. 2 teams who are not very good at all. One thing I would say, though, about Leeds, and this is the difference between the 2 sides going in, is at least Leeds are playing with a certain level of spirit. The fans are behind the team, and they do have a certain energy about them. They're just not very good, I think. You know what I mean? That's just the be-all and end-all. Their talent level is quite adrift of many of the teams in the Premier League, and that shows, especially up top. They're struggling. That being said, though, West Ham, who do have talented players, maybe not as many as in recent years, but even so, the whole ethos of the team, the work rate. I saw a stat the other day where they were bottom of the table in terms of running stats in the Premier League, bottom. So that straight away suggests that they're not working hard enough. They're playing without confidence. And I mean, Nuno, good a manager as he is,
I mean,
he's got some real
Leeds
problems there.
So West Ham, they scored 6, conceded 18. They're on a minus 12 goal difference. Leeds at least have 8 points.
Yeah.
Like, they're only 1 point off Newcastle. They're 2 points off Brentford. They're 1 point off Fulham. They're 3 points out of the relegation, so they're 16th. And then obviously Burnley.
They've had to scrap for
Burnley
every single one of those points.
They really have, but this is a relegation 6-pointer. It's an early stage. Because let's say West Ham lose this, Leeds they get another 3 points. The Leeds are up to 11. They're looking towards the bottom end of mid-table at least. And West Ham will just get buried even further down. Like, it doesn't look good. I'm looking at the bottom 4 teams. The only team to have won a game is Burnley have won. Like, there's just on my laptop here, there's just so much red down here. There's so much red at the bottom here. But it's a relegation 6-pointer. Obviously, Leeds are at home, which is big for Leeds. I'm going to say Leeds are going to edge this because West Ham are just so uninspiring. Like, as you say, at least Leeds are somewhat inspiring, somewhat. Like, they play with a bit of fight and a bit of dog, and they've got some players who can have a bit of a difference. Paqueta's not looked fantastic ever since the whole Aston Villa thing. Bowen's trying his best, bless him. But the rest of the West Ham side just don't look inspiring to me.
Not at all.
I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds for this game.
I mean, I saw the West Ham game when we played them, and I've got to say that I described that game in the aftermath as one of the easiest games that Arsenal have this season. And I also think I said something like, they say there are no easy games in the Premier League. But when West Ham came to the Emirates, they did much to debunk that myth. So, yeah, West Ham are struggling, man. Yeah. And like you, Dylan, I just think that going up against Leeds will be hungry. They'll be up against an opposition that they will see as being very vulnerable. Nuno's rocked up, but he's not been there long enough, I would say, to put his imprint on the team. He's still trying to come to terms with that. Yeah, I think with the energy and spirit, I think Leeds will come through, man.
Yeah, and then one of the comments also mentioned Somerville. Somerville's decent. But he
used to play for Leeds, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I mean, it maybe going back to Ellen Road, maybe it'll give him some inspiration. He's one of those wingers that I see. I look at Somerville, I kind of think he's a bit of a busy winger. Like he's
talented.
Busy. He does a lot. He's talented, but he needs to
more end product.
Yeah, he needs more end product, especially West Ham. Well, West Ham really need to have some more end product if they want to survive. There's also 3 p.m. kickoff on Saturday, Newcastle versus Fulham. Newcastle, mixed start to the season, but I'm absolutely loving Voltemada.
Yeah.
What a striker. I've just brought him in for my FPL, and I think he's so much fun. Like, when they signed him, I was like, this is a bit crazy. Like, you've paid a massive amount of fee for someone who's like the least known of all the big strike signings this summer, but Voltemada's been fantastic. Fulham are, a bit mixed.
They're struggling,
They're like, as I said, they're 1 point behind Newcastle, but Newcastle have scored 7 and conceded 7, whereas Fulham have scored 8 and conceded 12. So Newcastle being at home for this game and Fulham, not necessarily having the world's best record. I mean, they're pretty much level with Leeds for stuff. They've scored 1 more and conceded 1 less than Leeds, both on 8 points. If we talk about Leeds being in a bit of trouble, so are Fulham. I think Newcastle got this one in the bag.
Yeah, I would have thought so. I mean,
2-0, Voltemada double for my FPL. Thank you very much.
Press conference today, the Fulham managers, Marco Silva, who is a good manager, but even him seemed a bit testy. He was getting asked questions, people talking about possible 4 defeats on the bounce, and he was responding in quite a testy way. Again, pressure. And this is not a good look for them because Newcastle at home is one of the more difficult grounds you can go to.
St James's Park, never fun for anyone.
Definitely a fortress. And with the types of players that they have as well, the Tonales, the Joe Lintons, the Voltemars. Yeah, I mean, they're blessed with talent. Gordon, they've got a number of good players. They're physical, they've got ability. And
Alanga as well even though his end product's not fantastic, he still rip past the defence. I think it's one of these guys that Newcastle got it in the bag.
Yeah, I can't see anything.
I can't see anything else. 2-0, 3-1 kind of thing.
2-0,
yeah. I'm actually going to go 3-1. I reckon 3-1. And then we're going to move on to, I completely forgot, my team. Man United are playing Brighton. Obviously, we've spoken about the Liverpool game and how that game, 2 wins on the bounce for Ruben Amorim in the Premier League for the first time since he joined, which is mad. I cannot believe that's true. The big back-to-back trophy. I sat here with you on Monday with a crown on my head. I literally had a crown on my head. I was so happy with that game. But Manchester United versus Brighton.
I was quite pleased for United, man, because I'll be honest with you.
We needed that so badly.
Yeah, you did. But I thought that you would probably get cooked. I think I did say that last week. I predicted a 3-1 Liverpool win because I thought that there would be a backlash. They were at home. They were coming off, 3 games, straight losses. And I thought, in many ways, United would have been the perfect opponent for them to get back on track. You see what I mean? Big rivals. They're at home, showpiece game. But they didn't. They didn't deliver. And a lot of that was down to United riding a little bit of a wave, dare I say it.
Well, it's just nice to like have a win. Like we've not lost in like 3 weeks. We already played 2 games. It's incredible. Yeah. But so in terms of Brighton coming to United, Brighton are one of only 2 teams in Premier League history to have won back-to-back games at Old Trafford in the Premier League. It's Brighton and it's Manchester City. I remember, obviously we're currently Brighton. They've not lost at Old Trafford since 2021, I think. But their form away from home, it's a mixed bag. They have 2 6-0 wins away from home, both in the EFL Cup against Oxford United and Barnsley. But in terms of away from home in the Premier League, they've got a 2-0 loss against Everton, and then a 2-1 loss against Bournemouth, and then their last away win, they beat Chelsea 3-1, and then drew 1-1 with Wolves. They've got 1 away win this season. It's against a Big Six team. It's against Chelsea, and obviously just beat Newcastle. So they're not a team to obviously take lightly, and they are at the moment. I say this about half the teams in the league, but they're our bogey team. We've got a lot of bogey teams in this Premier League at the moment because we keep losing. Yeah. But Brighton's one of the ones where every time I look at their schedule, I see Brighton's coming up next, and I'm just like, oh, for flip's sake, Brighton. But I have more optimism this time. Like it feels like Amorim is finally starting to change his ways a little bit on the pitch. Like it's still the 3-4-2-1, whatever. It's a different kind of 3-4-2-1. Like we're playing more to the opponent a bit, which is granted. Best teams in the world don't necessarily play to your opponent too much. Like we're changing games completely for Sunderland, then completely for Liverpool. But I think our players finally have a little bit about them now. They've got a bit of fight about them. They've got a bit of grit about them, which I'm liking.
I think they're starting to believe a bit more as well.
Yeah, I think they do. They believe in themselves as a squad more than I think previous squads have. Yes. Like, because previous squads, you've had such a split between the best players and then a load of pretty trash players. Under Eric Ten Hag, we had some amazing players and then a lot of players that were so underwhelming. Same with Solskjaer, same with Mourinho. This team as well, I think, is more rounded and more like the average ability of these players, at least individually, not necessarily as a collective yet, but individually are better. So I'm feeling decent ahead of this Brighton game. Obviously, big knock on wood that we don't just get pumped 3-1 again at Old Trafford. But I'm going to tentatively go for a 2-1 win for United in this game.
Interesting.
An unprecedented 3 wins in a row for Amorim.
I mean, Brighton, though, they're that classic mid-table team. In fact, if you look at the table now, they're exactly mid-table. They're 10th, which is how people would tend to view Brighton. They're one of those teams. They're a decent, well-run
1 point behind
club.
us.
On any given day, there can be a problem for any team in the Premier League. Similarly, though, on any given day, they cannot look so good. And if you look at their results this season, 8 games, 3 wins, 3 draws, and 2 losses. That's very Brighton for me. However, they do have Danny Welbeck. This is the Danny Welbeck derby.
I know.
And
I said to you just before we went live that we're basically starting the game 1-0 down because Danny Welbeck's playing. He scores against us all the time.
He does. He even scored against you. I was at the game. When he came back to Man United for the first time, it was a cup game. I was at that game.
Yeah.
It was at Man United and he scored in that game. I remember a lot of the fans who gave him initially quite a good reception, turned on him as soon as he scored the goal.
I mean, our form as well, United's form recently, we've won 4 of the last 6. It's not like our form's been so overly dire, but it's been, the losses have been a 3-0 thumping and then Brentford thumping us as well. So City beating us 3-0 and Brentford beating us 3-1, both away from home. So the losses have been thumping, but we've beaten Burnley, beaten Chelsea, beaten Sunderland and beaten Liverpool. So like our start to the season it's a hard start to the season. We had statistically it was the hardest 5 games on average I think than any team in the league. But I hope Šeško comes back into starting 11. Like Cunha was great up front, but I think Mason Mount. So the injury news for United is that Lisandro Martinez is obviously still out ACL. He'll be back in a couple of weeks hopefully. And then Maguire and Mount both had knocks in the week or knocks against Liverpool, which have meant that they are doubts. They should be in the squad, but I reckon they won't start. So I reckon I'm hoping Lenny Euro comes back in De Ligt's back in the middle, and then we've got obviously Bruno and Casemiro will be in the middle too. We'll have then front three of Šeško and Bumo and Cunha, and then we'll have hopefully Dorgu and Ahmad on the right wings. And that's a team that makes me, I'm not going to say confident, because I still don't trust this team to, you know, always give a good game or always give a minimum level of performance. But it makes me cautiously optimistic. Like with the way De Ligt's been playing this season, Yora's been playing this season, Šeško in his last 2 starts has been great, and Bumo's been one of our players of the season. Cunha was amazing against Cunha and Ahmad were both amazing.
I think Cunha will definitely start.
Yeah, I hope Cunha gets a goal
Ahmad
or assist
over Dorgu, because I think with Ahmad, he's a quality player.
Well, I've got Dorgu on the left, Ahmad on the right.
Oh, okay.
Is what I want, because I don't want to see Dalot in the starting lineup. But Dalot, he was our one player against Liverpool. I was watching him just going, "What are you doing, man? What are you like?" So many times, miscontrolling touches, hitting it out, bad tackles. I'm like, just get him out starting 11. Put Dorgu in there. Dorgu holds the line higher. He tries to create more, and he's quicker and stronger.
Sometimes the end product is not great.
But I don't mind just have an athlete in that game, because Brighton will be on the counter, especially on that side is Minter, who's so rapid. He's absolutely rapid. Yeah. So I want Dorgu to be as equally as rapid, or as hopefully almost as rapid, to be able to try and, like, you know, manage Minter somewhat alongside Luke Shaw on that left centre back role. But yeah, no, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. Don't know about you.
You know what? I think Brighton might not somewhat spoil the party, but I think that they might turn up at your place. And Ursula's pretty good at devising a game plan. I think they've got a little bit of energy about them at the moment. Welbeck as well going back. It's interesting about Welbeck because, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't people talking about him in terms of England at the moment?
Yeah.
I've been hearing that, which would be amazing, wouldn't it? 35 years old nearly. I think Welbeck seemed to turn 35.
Well, I mean, Jordan Henderson's there at 36. To be in the conversation
of being called up for England at the World Cup is amazing when you consider the amount of strikers there are in this country. Maybe that's an indictment on the way a lot of them are playing at the moment. But anyway, to my point, I think Brighton might get a draw in this game. You know, I've just got a sneaking feeling that they might maybe not burst your bubble, but you know what I'm saying. Just before you lot start getting ahead of yourselves, Brighton turn up and provide a reminder that you're not.
It's a big worry. Like I'm still giving Brighton a solid, like, in terms of like win, draw, loss percentage wise. Brighton.
I wouldn't make you guys favourites, but I'm kind of thinking that Brighton might.
No, Brighton will have something for us. I don't doubt that. Like Carlos Baliba, after being linked to United all summer and wanting the move, is coming to Old Trafford, and he's gonna, because obviously we're linked to Anderson, we're linked to Wharton, we're linked to Baliba, we're linked to what's his name, the guy from Lille, but I think his name's Boadi, I can't remember what his name is, but he's fantastic as well. Baliba will be going to Old Trafford with a point to prove. He'll be against Casemiro, going, "I want your spot. I want your spot in that red shirt." So I think Baliba's like, he's on the thumbnail for this video. He's for this live. I think Baliba will come with a point to prove. Danny Welbeck will probably come with a point to prove, and Brighton they're 10th. Like they've got a decent squad. They're only 1 point behind us. Yeah. But I'm saying 2-1. I don't know what was your score prediction.
I'm going 1-1.
1-1.
Guess who scores for Brighton?
Is it Welbeck? I don't doubt. I do not doubt. That's why I said 2-1. Like we're starting this game 1-0 down.
I mean, United are favourites, but I've got a sneaking feeling that Brighton might.
I hear it. We've got three games left to cover before the end of the stream, obviously at 6 p.m. And do keep an eye. For those of you asking for Best of Enemies, it's out at 6:30. So keep with us till the end of the stream. You only got half an hour wait, which you can watch some other DR Sports content. Obviously, there's so much over on DR Sports. And then Best of Enemies will come out. But Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest. Sean Dyche is back.
Yeah.
Beat Porto 2-0. But Bournemouth obviously have had a fantastic defence there. Where are they? They're fourth? Third? Fourth.
Yeah,
third in the joint third. They are actually joint third with Liverpool. Yeah. Same goal difference, same points. Oh, that's crazy. Bournemouth have been amazing. Iraola is a great manager. I do think Dyche will. He'll have a game plan. The Forest players, they just against Porto, they looked free against Porto. I think I don't know if it's a fake quote or not, but I saw Morgan Gibbs-White say after the Porto game that I can finally breathe again.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mad quote to say.
That sort of corresponds well with the comment I made about when Ange was sacked. The club captain, Yates, gave an interview immediately after the game, and it was noticeable. He never referenced Ange once. He didn't refer to him at all. And every time the interviewer went near the name Ange, he steered clear of it, which said a lot to me. And to hear this now from Gibbs-White tells you,
it tells you what the atmosphere was like, wasn't it? I do think Bournemouth and specifically Semenyo will still be too good for this Forest team. I'm gonna go. It's at home as well. It's at Vitality Stadium, so I'm saying 2-0 Bournemouth.
Yeah, I mean,
I just think Bournemouth are fantastic.
I do think that Bournemouth will win, but I do think that Forest will revert to type in this game. They'll make it difficult. It'll be a typical Sean Dyche.
Yeah, it'll be a Dyche performance, but I think Bournemouth are just too good.
Bournemouth, they're cooking at the moment, man.
I mean, I predicted them as one of my
and they have one of the Premier League form players in their team, Semenya.
I'd say one of the best players in the Premier League at the moment. Like, it's hard to argue. You've got Wolves versus Burnley. This is
where is that at? Wolves.
This is at Wolves, and it's a game of 17th versus 20th, 7 points versus 2 points. It's at Wolves, but Wolves are they've granted all of their 2 points they've got in their last 3 games. But
you say all of?
Yeah, exactly. That's the point I'm making. It's all of their 2 draws. I mean, this is a great game, I think, for Burnley to kick on a little bit and get slightly further, because obviously Forest are 18th, and if we predicted Bournemouth to win over Forest, Forest will stay on 5 points. And if we predicted West Ham to lose against Leeds as well, who are 19th with 4 points, this is a great time for Forest to separate ever so slightly from that bottom 3 by getting, 10 points. Obviously, 3 points. That means they get 10 points on the board, and they give themselves a little more breathing room.
Well, earlier on you described, and I agreed with your assertion, that Leeds versus West Ham was a relegation 6-pointer. I would equally say that Wolves versus Burnley is also a relegation 6-pointer. It's beginning to look already, and sorry if I have to say this, Wolves fans, but they look down already to me. I've got to say it.
Yeah.
I can't
it's
see
fine.
them.
It's not like their manager's got a new 3-year contract.
Well, talk about rewarding failure. But anyway, you know what? Yeah, for me, Burnley are going to win this game. I think Burnley, one thing I'd say under Scott Parker, they're well organised. I've seen a few of their games, including the game when they played you lot. They're unlucky, actually.
Yeah.
And they're also...
They created chances easily.
Yeah. So... I think Burnley are the better team. That's borne out by their respective positions in the table. And I think Burnley.
I'm thinking a tight 1-0 win for Burnley.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself. Or maybe a 2-1. 2-1.
And then 2-1. Well, final game: Everton versus Tottenham at Goodison Park. Everton obviously are in half decent form themselves. They've surprised people by I think Moyes and co have surprised people. Jack Grealish back up and running, but Spurs equally just lost to Aston Villa in terms of their latest Premier League form. So we'll be looking for 3 points. I think this game's going to be a fun one, and I'm going to say 3-2 Tottenham.
I agree with 50% of what you said. It will be a fun one, but only because Everton will beat Tottenham. Everton at home, bit of a fortress at home. I fancy it. Spurs they're going through a bit of an indifferent period. A lot of the fans not happy with the style of football, and I'm saying to those Spurs fans, well, what do you expect? Thomas Frank has always been a pragmatic manager, so why did you expect him to change now? But anyway, on balance, I'm going for Everton. 1-0.
Yeah, I feel like... interesting. So just a bit of breaking news right before the end of the stream about Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes' contract includes a release clause that will allow him to join a club outside England for 56.68 million, provided it's triggered early enough. Right, we don't really have time to cover this, but that's a 58 million pounds for Bruno Fernandes with 2 years left on his deal next summer would be something I would consider. But I mean, I love Bruno. Realistically, if I could choose, I'd like him to stay. But 60 million quid, you never know. We'll see what happens. Obviously, that'll include Saudi clubs. That's from the BBC. But apart from that, thank you guys so much for watching live at 5. I've been on 4 days this week, and it's very good fun to talk about the latest news. We will cover all the drama here on live at 5, including just after, on Mondays and Thursdays, obviously just after the roundup, and talking about what they've been talking about. And make sure you guys in the panel below me, there's a WhatsApp number. So if you have any messages for us at Live at 5 or anyone else on the panel, make sure to get them in. We'll be listening to them from Monday onward. Your voice notes and your videos and everything. But apart from that, Best of Enemies will be out in just over half an hour's time. So grab your popcorn, of course. It's always a fantastic podcast to watch with KG and the gang. I say KJ and the gang, and Robbie and Expressions.
I'll be on the boxing tomorrow, very quickly.
Oh, you'll be on the boxing as well tomorrow?
Yeah, DL Sports tomorrow. We're covering the big heavyweight showdown between Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley. Be myself, James Toon, Daryl, and we've got another special guest. So it'll be 4 of us.
Oh, there you go. That should be fantastic. And also, so because you've got boxing content, Saturday football show as well, tomorrow with Abby and co, wherever everyone will be there. Sunday, you got FCM, and then Monday, weekend roundup, and Monday, 5 p.m, we'll be back here live at 5 to cover everything that's happened on the weekend. So I will see you then.
Welcome along,
That is
weekend
unbelievable.
roundup. Oh my days.
Wow.
We're in for a great show today, guys.
Well, what about the North London derby?
I'm not getting rattled.
We're 3 points off top 4, so it's not looking too bad.
Yeah.
Foden
I'd
88,
say
Saka
that's about
87.
right.
I think that's wrong.
Nicely put your top on. You want to take it off and get the branding out? Happy birthday!
Make a wish to win the league.
I did.
How much chance of Arsenal have of winning the Champions League?
0, mate.
If we got through
Can't do
PSV, do you think there's any chance?
No,
that we
no,
don't?
no.
Hang on, let me finish.
Predictions
2-1 Tottenham.
3-1 Liverpool.
2-0 Wolves. Chelsea to beat Man United at Old Trafford.
Still there.
You're in trouble if we win this game. You better not lose on Saturday. We beat the world champions this weekend. That makes you world champion.
We're the world champions, but you're not in a title race.
This is why you'll never win the league.
6 million down the drain.
Robbie celebrating a 1-0 win. Abby Pilates instead of trophies. You never walk alone.
Catch us every Monday for the weekend roundup. As well as the other stuff I'm doing. So tonight when I go to the gym, I'll do a bit of boxing training and then I'll do some weights.
Really good. Yeah, I need to get back into the boxing grind. Get into.